Hey Bloomerinos, are you ready to make this cutie? We're gonna have fun. I'm gonna show you how. So come on in, let's have some fun with flowers. This is an 18-inch wreath base. And we're gonna start off with that and get this little cutie mounted right in there. So I want him to be right in the center of our design. So I'm gonna put him right here at the bottom. And then we're gonna use some skewers to secure him in. So he is really exactly where I want him. So the easiest way to do that is just take some barbecue skewers and I just hit them with a little bit of glue on the end. And then you just kind of leverage it in with some physics. Well, you try to get it in here. Because his base is all foam, he's super easy to put in that way. So I'm gonna come at him with a couple of directions. Now, if you've never made something like this before and you would like to grab the kit, just let us know in the comments. We'll shoot you the link to this and you can make your own. These skewers, I usually find them in the cooking department of my local grocery store. Like, they have the better, thicker ones than I get at Walmart. Walmart, just they're kind of thin. That's something that won't come in the kit, but you can grab them. You can see I just went ahead and just staked him right in. And now I'm just going to cut off the little edges. And just like that, our main focal point is in the wreath, and we are ready to start adding the flowers. In this kit, you can see we've got our greenery, we've got our main daisies, we've got some twigs. All of that is important to create the base of this design. Let's start off with our greenery first, just to get a little of that in. And we are going to start to kind of place them to define our shape. Because our shape is what I call it laying the perimeter or setting the background in design school. And that's what we're going to do first here. And we're using this greenery today that is got a little bit of flocking to it. But one of my favorite parts is they have wired the plastic little vine pieces in here, so you can use that to your advantage. So if you'll just take this bush and tear it down, it's super easy to work with. Anytime I can do that, I'm going to save the steps of cutting and save myself a little bit of time. And then you just trim up the ends and we'll get started putting them all in. And when I say set the perimeter, that means set the exterior of the design, because it kind of lays the foundation for your whole project. See how I'm shaping this up? And all of that's really important in when you choose your products to create with. That's why grabbing a kit with us kind of keeps it really simple for you to be able to duplicate exactly what I'm doing and get you started on your design, adventure. See what I'm saying? These have that little bit of twig to them, and you can take, because they're wired, I can kind of have them come over my little bear's head. But isn't that super cute already? Look how we're doing. Look at all the dimension we're getting because those little pieces and those little details are wired. And I like to stand apart from, the big box stores when we have our florals that we sell, because I know that the better your pieces look and the more depth and dimension they have, the more, you are going to be able to demand for them when you resell them, or just the better it's all going to look when you put the piece together on your own door. So I'm going to take this one, we're going to kind of come below the beehive, and you can go all the way around if you want, but in this case, I want to just kind of tuck this right up beside him. Oh yeah. So we're starting to frame out our perimeter. Now I'm going to come a little bit down with another piece. I love this one too because I've got these two longer viney pieces that'll work great kind of cascading down. And I'm going to tuck this one in right here. I want this to look very organic and florally, but fun because of our cute little beehive in there. But you can see that I want to stick with that jute texture on here and let some of the grapevine show so it feels kind of rustic. I love that. I love that combo. Don't worry, we're going to have a cute bee to go in here too. Of course we are. All right, then I'm going to take one more piece and I'm going to shake hands with it. We're going to do that right up above. Now, if you need to, grab some Spanish moss to hide your glue or secure your pieces in, just in case you need to cover up a little bit of glue on there. And I've got a little bit right here. I need to add some moss too. All right, just like that, our greenery is in, our bee is in, and we got a great start. Now, I want to go ahead and grab my main flower in here, and that's going to be this really pretty Paris daisy. It's just like a Gerber daisy, a nice big head. And these come with a little bit of greenery on them too. So if you'll just take and push those up a little. And I'm gonna trim them pretty long because they have the stem covering, which I love, but we don't wanna push them up so much to where we lose the wire, okay? So just push them a little bit. But I kind of like the stem covering because it's so pretty. So don't push them up too high. It makes them look so real. So we're gonna trim that whole bush off. And then I'm gonna get ready to put these in. With these, I'm gonna leave them alone. I'm gonna let them kind of reach out and help create the depth we're looking for in this design. So I'm gonna start with my first one, kind of going up and above up here. And think about it creating like a little concave, a little area that comes out over the beehive, because that's gonna give us that great depth I'm talking about. And I'm serious, when I want you to think about the depth, it just is, so many people design stuff that's super flat. And that's never something I'm designing or teaching how to design, because I think it's boring and it's never going to command the dollar amount that I want to make when I sell my pieces. So I'm really thinking about that. That's why it's important everything's wired and we can really work with it. See here? I'm almost bending that into the shape of a C so I get all that movement. We'll get our first 3 pieces in up here above. Popping them in. Oh yeah. I love that. I'm gonna push this one in just a little bit more. And if you bend it a little too strong, just, you know, back off a little. You can fix that. Look at all that movement. Isn't that great? I have got that really moving off the top. Now let's do the same thing on the bottom right here. Okay, I'm gonna come in on the bottom. We're gonna change our direction and get these puppies popping. Some of these I pushed up a little high, so I gotta put that wire back in there because I wanna be able to manipulate it all the way to the head. All right, let's put some down here. Because, you know, if he's into the bees, the flower's got to be close by. And I actually used a kind of an open wreath base on this design because I liked the woodiness of the stems. Sometimes, you know, you want to pick out a different base for different designs, but in this one, I think it worked just perfectly. Something about bending these wires is almost cathartic to me. It's so relaxing, and the beautiful weather today and the actual bees and the birds. I haven't seen any bees, but I have heard the birds talking. They're talking. All right, we've got 2 there. Let's put a couple more right here, kind of working our way back. And I am leaving the grass on too because I love that grass in there. Just go up a little bit higher. I'm gonna put that in right here. Now make sure you're not going just through to the back. I did pick a kind of an open wreath frame, so you gotta watch it. Make sure you push it into the design. I'm gonna pull that up a little bit. There you go. And then I want one more right in here, kind of coming off to the side, so you can see how pretty those are scattered about. And we've got more yellow coming in, and we've got some great twigs. So never fear, everybody will have their own little spot. Okay. And you can always bend them more or manipulate them more as you kind of bring your piece together. But you got, look at that already. Oh my gosh. So we created all this space in the design. Now what I want you to do before we even grab our next floral is I want you to pull that greenery into the depth now. It was kind of flat in the back. Now I want you to pull it up. Remember I told you about the wires it had? So utilize those, bring them forward. Now you see the little vine right here? Hey, take that, curl it up, kind of have it work over the top of the beehive right here. Bring that into the design. And we call that breaking the plane of the design. In everything we do, we're trying to break the plane. That means the pieces kind of overlap, and that gives that perception of a lot of depth. And that's what we want to bring in. Next, we're going to use this gorgeous yellow. And this has kind of got like a little flocked greenery to it, that little bit of gray. It's got that beautiful Dusty Miller vibe to it. And it's got even some rosemary in here that looks like that too. So that with the yellow is just excellent. So I'm going to take this one and we're going to divide it into sections. And we may even break it down a little smaller than this because we want this to fill in between everything we've already got going. So I'm going to tear this one off too. So see how easy these are to work with and manipulate into exactly what you want. See right here, isn't that great? I'm just opening up the camera a little bit for you guys to see. Now, same thing, every time I grab a piece, I need to manipulate it, okay? I gotta use that depth on it. It's a little time consuming, but worth it every time. So all of a sudden you take just one spray and you can make it into so many pieces when you work with something higher quality. And you'll love that in the long run, because your work will look so much better than starting off with something lesser quality and trying to improve on it. It will take so much more time. So I'm gonna put my first piece right in here. And I kind of like it coming over to my little bear. Yeah, Mr. Bear, he's got a little bee right there. And we're gonna bring another piece from below that. Just keep letting these fill in. And that way you get this really nice wispy design, which I find lovely. Now we're gonna come below where we change direction. So I will switch direction on this stem as we bring it in. I'm gonna kind of work from the outside and just let it come out here. And mix it in with that other green spray, because we have that green spray in here too. That Dusty Miller can go over here, and these little yellow, kind of like a berry filler flower combo. Oh yeah, so pretty. All right, now we're gonna work a little bit down, and I'm just gonna take these and open them up the exact same way, shaking hands with them. And I'm gonna go right below now the beehive. So when you use a filler flower, what you're doing is you are breaking up the space and you're adding a little more dimension between the greenery and the main flowers, which in this case are our daisies we're working with. And just pop that right in there. Now let's take one more and go above. Same thing, I'm gonna trim off this one where we tore it. Now I'm gonna put my last piece in right up here above, slightly overlapping that greenery we already have in. And just gently spread that out. Oh yeah. See how we're breaking the plane, the bear, he's like tucked in there. He's tucked in the back. Now, what I want you to do is we're gonna steal a little bit of flowers from a couple of these. Like I'm gonna steal this piece right here from that one. I'm gonna steal a little bit of greenery from this one. Okay? And then let's steal maybe another little floral from this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna embellish that beehive a little bit so the florals don't look completely different than what we're using other places. And I'm just going to tuck those in with a little bit of glue. A little bit of glue on there, and I'm going to take and just tuck this right in. Here comes a little greenery. And you guys, anytime you use a wreath attachment that comes with some stuff like built in like this, you can make it your own. You can pull that stuff off, or you can do like we're doing here. We're just adding a little bit of other, just to have it work right in. Here comes some more yellow flower, and I'm just putting that in the glue pot, the pot skillet off screen. Put that there, and then it kind of blends in just a little bit more than what was going on. Now, with the other couple of little pieces I have, I'm going to come in and have a couple of smaller pieces in here right where we have a lot going on, where I can kind of see where the stems are going in. So I'm going to steal one more piece. I've got one more piece of greenery here. Kind of at the transition point right here where I want to tuck in a couple of little short pieces. I'm even going to steal one piece of this greenery right here where I have these longer leaves. And I'm going to glue those right into the transition also. So whenever I talk about a transition, that's where we change direction with the florals. Sometimes we'll have a bow there. Sometimes we'll have some type of attachment there. In this case, we don't really have anything except for the florals, at least for right now. But in a second, we're going to put our cute little bee in right in here. So while this guy is feasting on our whole honeycomb, this big mother bee is over here, and she's going to go right into the transition too. So I put a little floral in there. Now I'm going to tuck her in, and I'm going to make sure her wings are up and pretty, because that's the cutest thing about her. And we will take and tuck that in that same area. So come on, baby. Get on in there, you cutie. I love adding little details like this. She can just sit up there. She's just tucked in. And just like everything else, we break the plane. She's just subtly right in there. See her? You can't really, she's not the focal point, but she's just tucked in that little garden of happiness right there. Just when you think we're done, nope, it's twig time. Anytime you're using all this depth, where we really are using a daisy or a tulip or any long flower that you really are having reach out and move around, make sure you incorporate a twig, because the twig helps tie that in. We've got this dark grapevine in the back. We've got these beautiful bright yellow florals, but now if I bring a twig in, that bridges that gap between the two and makes it give you that woodsy, wispy feel. And I totally love that. Now this is our little willow twig, and it is so nice because we've got all the little micro curly wires on here, which look adorable curled up. So that's what you see me doing here right now. You don't have to do that, but that's one of my things. I love them curled like they're trying to reach out and grab onto things. And we've got 3 that we're going to use that come in this kit. And by the way, if you haven't grabbed the kit yet, just let us know in the comments and I'll shoot you the link for this particular design. And let's start with this first one, kind of reaching over Mr. Bear at the top, creating a little zone in his little area up here. Yep, there it is. I love that. And so he's really tucked in there. He's safe. At least he thinks he is, till these bees find out he's getting the honey. All right, if you get a glue string, I like to pull those off now rather than waiting, because I sometimes miss one. Right there. Now let's go up above with one more. Same thing. We're going to shake hands with it like you're making best friends, and I'm going to curl these. If you don't want to curl on your finger, you can always curl on like a pencil or one of those skewers we used, but I just use usually what's easy for me. I've been doing this 27 years, so you'll see me take lots of shortcuts that are, you know, time savers, because some details are important, some are not. And when you're running like a really high volume Etsy shop like we do, we want to make beautiful projects. We want to use the highest quality materials. We want to have a lot to the design value. That's why I teach in design school all of the ways to do that, because we don't want to look like anybody else. We want our pieces to be super special and unique, but there's no reason to add steps to the process just for, you know, the glory of it. I like to make it simple. And because I used to have to teach all my employees how to make the wreaths too, it gave me a lot of practice to be able to teach you guys here and in design school, so you can do it on your own. So this time I'm going to actually curl this stem a little bit too. The main stem. Oh gosh, how fun is that? So we kept these twigs like really coming in tight around him. See all that? He looked really, really good. Now, I'm going to bring my last twig, and it's going to cup around and kind of come up to the top of, really kind of to the midline of the bottom of this beehive. Isn't that great? So I hope when you play with your designs, you think about the rustic element. If you're letting a lot of that grapevine show, how can you bring in, you know, a little more detail to your piece? And twigs are a great way to do that. Okay, here comes this one. Plus you get to curl all these little wires, and that's just so satisfying. Alrighty, I'm gonna trim that one off. And then we'll just bring that one in on the bottom. Right in here. I got some glue on that, but we'll get it off in a second. See how I want it to kind of cascade over and come up? And then I think we've done it. I love that. All right, Bloomerinos. Till next time, Bloomerinos, go have fun with flowers.